Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Great to have you with us. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Well, it was a big weekend. Got the numbers in. And maybe some surprises happened over the weekend in the voting. Of course, yesterday was National Peanut Butter Day. We did a poll on your favorite peanut butter.
Yeah. That's right. It was an important day.
Yeah. Jif won 48.9%, like 49% of the vote.
Flawed. Nope.
What?
Oh, man.
What?
Skippy.
No, well, okay. The Skippy Natural with honey.
With honey.
Excellent.
Okay.
It is excellent. Yes. Other than that, though, I'm a Jif guy.
Okay, so Jif
is definitely the best peanut butter. But I do like that all natural Skippy with the honey in it. That's good stuff.
Wow.
17.7% for Skippy. Peter Pan. Oh my gosh, that's just awful. 14.2 and other 19.2. All right.
Yeah, a lot of patheads weren't so thrilled with that poll because there wasn't the I don't know option.
Yeah.
Which of
that's
course
hurtful.
Should be a part of every Pat-related poll.
Also, South Carolina results.
Oh, there was some other voting going on?
Yeah, there was some other voting going on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Biden won handily.
Yeah.
I mean, handily by 31 points. Almost 32. He was very close to 50%, 49.8.
Wow.
49.8%.
I didn't see that kind of victory coming.
Wow. I mean, he crushed Sanders, 18.9%. Steyer at 12.6%. And we lost him.
Oh, no. What happened?
We lost him. Tom Steyer dropped out.
Oh, boo. You know, that was a terrible. I saw a headline. Is this the worst presidential campaign ever over the weekend? He spent $253 million, $250 million of which was from his own pocket.
Ooh.
His wife moved to South Carolina, and he spent $3,300 per vote that he got.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
What a bad campaign.
And dropped out.
And goodbye.
Bye-bye. So he's gone, as is Mayor Pete Buttigieg. We lost him. So Buttigieg and Steyer are both out. I'm a little surprised.
I think
Buttigieg?
I think Mayor Pete's more dangerous now that he's out because he could be a kingmaker later, or he could be the candidate that they settle on at the convention if Biden and Sanders don't figure it out beforehand.
No way.
He's the one that I've been most concerned about the entire time, and I still am. But
no way would he be the one. It'd be somebody like Hillary would sneak in at that point. Al Gore, Richard Gephardt.
Oh, yeah, Dick Gephardt's still looming out there.
Yeah, Dick Gephardt's still out there.
That's right. Okay, well, I take it back.
Still out there at 78 years old. He's ready to go.
Well,
he's ready. He's spry. He's a spring chicken.
Well, actually, in 2020, compared to the candidates that they have, he definitely is a spring chicken. So you're absolutely right. But congratulations to the Democrats. Their final two are rich old white guys, which is exactly how they try to characterize the Republican Party. So here you go, Democrats. You got your two.
Although they're not the final two yet.
Okay, well.
I mean, it's a little premature.
I don't know about that.
Do have Amy Klobuchar is in. Let's see. Who else? Warren is in.
Mm-hmm. I'm talking about, look at the delegates already. It's 57, 51, I think, out of the gate.
Yeah, it is. Sanders, 57, Biden, 51.
And so Buttigieg leaves 26 delegates out there, which, again, could come in handy in July.
Warren has 8, Klobuchar 7. So, yeah, they're way behind. And, Bloomberg's still in there somewhere. I mean, he'll just keep spending money and wasting money. But huge win for Joe Biden. This was critical for him over the weekend. He had to have that South Carolina firewall. He needed that really, really bad. And he got it. He got it big time. So we'll see if this carries over for him into tomorrow.
Yeah, 20 states
Super Tuesday.
Tomorrow. 20 states voting.
I think it's only 15. I think it's 14 states in one territory.
What?
That's what I keep reading.
Are you saying that I don't know how to add? Because, I mean, it's not like there's evidence that supports that claim.
True.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
14 states, one territory. 15 total.
Hey, Pat, tomorrow's Super Tuesday. There's 14 states, and there's one territory.
Okay.
And that's happening tomorrow. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, I did know that.
So do you think Mayor Pete's going to end up being one of these guys vice presidents by getting out this quickly?
Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if he helps anybody that much. Maybe if they're looking for identity politics, they want the gay vote. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know how he helps because I don't think he's that popular in Indiana, is he? He's not going to help you win Indiana because Trump's going to win that.
Yeah, I think you're right there. So okay, we'll see.
We'll see
tomorrow. I just love how we don't have to wait another week or week plus in some cases. It's like it's on tomorrow.
Just bang, we're right back into it. So it's essentially a national primary tomorrow, including Texas. So we'll be voting tomorrow. And, you going for Buttigieg or, it's too late for Buttigieg. Going for Biden or Sanders? It's going to be a tough one for you.
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
Oh, I already voted.
Mm-hmm. Oh, did you?
Yeah, I already voted.
Oh, you voted early?
Yeah.
Did you?
I'm done.
That was smart.
Yeah, I don't like lines. I don't like people. So anyway, I knocked it out middle of the day last week.
You like people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just all generally speaking.
Yeah.
So anyhow, and there was Thursday afternoon, middle of the afternoon.
How many people were there?
That's what I'm trying to think. There's probably about 15 machines. I would say when I was voting, maybe 6 were occupied.
Okay.
Which is still better than you would expect on an early voting day, in the middle of the week.
Did you get the impression they were mostly there for Trump, or were they there for the Democrats? Any idea?
I think that area probably Republicans.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I don't know what's. There's a lot of delegates too. Remember how that complicated Texas thing is, and there could be hundreds of delegates just in one fell swoop. But I'm also hearing how the super delegates are probably going to work against Bernie yet again. I tell you, Milwaukee, please prepare for the worst in July. That could turn really ugly. And if it doesn't matter who the Democrats choose, I'm wondering that if Bernie gets screwed over again by his party, does that bode well for Trump in November? In other words, no matter who the Democrats have, are the Bernie supporters going to be like, you know what? Not showing up for whoever just robbed Bernie yet again.
Let's hope so.
So
that'd be awesome.
You might want to root for anybody but Bernie.
Yeah.
So that the Bernie Bolsheviks, just stay home in November.
I'm definitely rooting for anybody but Bernie.
Yeah, for more reasons than one.
Yeah, I don't want any part of that. I mean, if it's just such a wild card to say that he's the easiest to beat. Right. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know.
Careful what you wish
in
for.
America anymore. I don't know.
Yeah.
There just might be enough millennials that vote for this guy that push him over the top. I wouldn't take that chance. Certainly don't want to take that chance.
Yeah.
888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Second coronavirus death has been confirmed now in the U.S. A man in his 50s and a man in his 70s, both were high risk, had other health issues apparently, both in the Seattle, Washington area. So 2 people from Washington have succumbed to the coronavirus in the United States now. Really sad. And they say it may have spread undetected for weeks in the U.S. Yeah, we're just reaping the whirlwind from that now.
Yeah, and what are we up to? About 80 cases in the U.S.? 80-something?
Is it that many?
Yeah.
Wow. It was 60 on Friday.
Yeah. Well, it's better than Iran that, what was I seeing? Iran, they had, remember that we had the clip of the guy, sweating and stuff? He's still alive, but another one of the top advisors there in Iran has died.
Oh, really?
This news just broke.
Jeez.
And so now in Iran, 66 people have died, which is the highest death total outside of China. And what was the other thing I read? That just in the last 24 hours, I really want to find this stat. It was fascinating. In the last 24 hours, 523 new cases in Iran. They're up to
oh my gosh,
1,501 in that country.
Wow.
So there you go. And
did you see they were licking some Muslim monument or something? It's some traditional thing that Muslims do. They're licking this, I don't know what, something like statue or something.
Time out. Safety tip. If any of your traditions involve licking
in this day and age,
I'm
not licking it, no.
You need to find a new tradition.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. No. Ugh.
Yeah, so I wonder if that's contributed to the spread a little bit.
Oh, goodness.
It's possible. I'm just saying it's possible. That's all. So.
Ooh, okay.
This continues to go downhill pretty fast with this coronavirus thing. Back in August, you might remember Bill Maher openly rooting for a recession to oust Trump. Here's that little segment, and he just may get his wish here.
All right, Josh, isn't the Fed cutting rates now just going to make the next economic downturn worse? What's your prediction? I've been hoping for a recession. People hate me for it, but it would get rid of Trump, so you shouldn't hate me for it.
I mean, recessions are really bad. People lose their jobs and their homes, and we shouldn't wish
it's worth it.
Wow,
it's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it.
People
would it be worth it
jobs?
if it's you, Bill?
Good grief.
Jeez, that's crazy. Well, this coronavirus, I mean, it's doing some serious harm to the economy. It's doing some serious harm to the stock market, and thus, creating some problems in the economy. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Ocasio-Cortez is speaking out against Mike Pence leading the effort here in the United States against the coronavirus. She says that he literally does not believe in science.
Oh, shut
up. Mike Pence literally does not believe in science. It is utterly irresponsible to put him in charge of U.S. coronavirus response as the world sits on the cusp of a pandemic. The decision could cost people their lives. Pence's past decisions already have. What? Come on.
I love our guy Chris Brady, who said, former barmaid says that Mike Pence not qualified to.
Oh, that's great. That is great. As governor, Pence's science denial contributed to one of the worst HIV outbreaks in Indiana's history. He's not a medical doctor. He's not a health expert, and neither is she, by the way. He is not qualified nor positioned in any way to protect our public health. But she is. As we just mentioned, the former barmaid, she's the one that can get this done. Okay. Mm-hmm. She's just the sheer insanity.
Yep.
It's just hard to take. All right. 888-900-3393. Also, AOC was out talking about religious freedom.
Yeah, this is fun.
This is fun, too.
This is one of those, you know how, Pat, you like to say, some clips.
Get through it once.
Right, so I play some clips beforehand for you. This is one of those where I
haven't seen this yet.
I knew going in, this is a one-timer for Pat.
All right, let's see this.
Experiencing this hearing, and I'm struggling whether I respond or launch into this question as a legislator or from the perspective of a woman of faith. Because I cannot, it's very difficult to sit here and listen to arguments in the long history of this country of using scripture and weaponizing and abusing scripture to justify bigotry. White supremacists have done it. Those who justified slavery did it. Those who fought against integration did it. And we're seeing it today. And sometimes, especially in this body, I feel as though if Christ himself walked through these doors and said what he said thousands of years ago, that we should love our neighbor and our enemy, that we should welcome the stranger, fight for the least of us, that it is easier for a rich man, it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to get into a kingdom of heaven. He would be maligned as a radical and rejected from these doors.
I can't take it.
I know.
Oh, you can't?
I can't take it.
Oh, you can't?
Can't take it.
Okay, because she's saying that on the same day that she's tweeting about her brother in Christ, Mike Pence,
right,
not being qualified to head up the coronavirus task force.
Right. And on the same, in the same legislative body where she sits and votes against babies being treated if they've been born alive after a failed abortion. I mean, that's unbelievable. Shut up. What an idiot. What an absolute moron. And she sounds like such a moron, too. Like a Valley Girl moron every time she speaks.
Would you say maybe sounds like a barmaid, perhaps?
And, shut up. Hard to take. It's really hard to take. Also, the Nebraska Family Alliance.
Oh, yeah. I stumbled on this clip, and we watched it last week, and it just so happened it's perfect for AOC to watch this.
Yeah, let's check this out.
Justice Black wrote in the landmark 1947 case, Everson versus Board of Education. In the words of Jefferson, the First Amendment clause against establishment of religion by law was intended to erect a wall of separation between church and state. That wall must be kept high and impregnable. Sounds nice, but any idea what Justice Black was doing before joining the Supreme Court? He was a member of the Ku Klux Klan, a racist, anti-Catholic organization that included separation of church and state as part of their creed, to which new members, who Justice Black was in charge of for the largest Klan cell in the South, pledged their allegiance to the eternal separation of church and state. Justice Black twisted Jefferson's original quotation and strategically embedded it in Supreme Court jurisprudence. Since then, Justice Black's wall, which has become the modern interpretation of the phrase, has been used to promote intolerance and discourage people of faith from participating in the public square.
So true.
According to constitutional law professor Daniel Dreisbach, for much of American history, the phrase separation of church and state and its attendant metaphoric formulation, a wall of separation, have often been expressions of exclusion, intolerance, and bigotry. These phrases have been used to silence people in communities of faith and to exclude them from full participation in public life.
Right. Wow. Good stuff.
So congratulations. Be sure to, tell your friends that say separation of church and state. Congratulations. You just quoted the KKK creed.
Yeah. Well, it's a phrase that's not in the Constitution of the United States of America.
Yep.
So, it's not that hard to figure that out. 888-900-3393 and at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. According to Yahoo Finance, the global superfood market will grow by another $200 billion by 2023. Experts agree that eating superfoods is the easiest way to get nutrient-dense foods. Best part is it's all natural. Well, most of the time. The trick is finding a product with the best quality ingredients, with not something that's just extracted from something else. It's actual food. And that's why I love Field of Greens from Brickhouse Nutrition. One scoop of Field of Greens has a full serving of real USDA or certified organic fruits and vegetables. It can assist with your immunity. It'll reduce the risk of heart disease. It's prebiotic, probiotic, great source of vitamins and minerals, all kinds of really good things in your body. If you don't like vegetables, this is such a great way to get them into your body. Go to brickhousepat.com. You'll get 15% off your first order when you use the offer code PAT. And even better, if you sign up for a recurring subscription, you can save an extra 10% every month. So build a better you, one brick at a time. It's brickhousepat.com, brickhousepat.com, offer code PAT.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
It's like Chris Matthews might be in a little bit of trouble. Just a teeny bit. He's like disappeared from MSNBC. There's a hole where he once was.
There's a hole at the anchor's desk where Chris was.
So it's a little weird because he's had a tough week or two. He had that thing where he compared Sanders' victory in Nevada to I don't know.
The French
losing in 2 days or something.
Yeah, and World War II.
Yeah.
To the Nazis.
I mean,
yeah.
So what? Big deal. Oh, but that was just horrifying to people.
Yeah, they wanted him to resign because he dared breathe the word Nazi and Bernie Sanders in the same sentence.
Come on. So now he had a little trouble identifying what black person he was talking to, which is another problem. Here's a peek at what happened to him over the weekend.
Jamie, I see you standing next to the guy you're going to beat right there. Maybe. Lindsey Graham.
No.
Tim Scott.
That's
Jamie.
Tim Scott.
Who's that?
That's Tim Scott.
Who's that? I'm sorry. Oh, it's the other center, Tim Scott. What am I saying? Big mistake. Mistaken identity, sir. Sorry. Tell me how you're going to beat Lindsey. Everybody knows Lindsey.
Oh, man. Oh, my.
That's bad.
That's really bad.
Who's that? I mean, that reminded me of a certain song. Who pays your salary? But wow, man, that's
bad.
That was so bad. And the guy was on a satellite link.
Because what do you open yourself up to? All black people look alike, and you can't tell the difference. That's what you've opened yourself up to.
And they're all whispering in his ear, "Tim Scott. That's Tim Scott.
Yeah, that's Tim Scott." Yeah, he didn't realize it himself. Everybody was telling him, "That's Tim Scott."
What?
No, Chris, that's Tim Scott.
Who's that?
Tim Scott's a Republican senator from South Carolina. That's Tim Scott. Okay, that's not the guy you're talking to.
Man, that was
that was bad. Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, Pat Heads had fun with that over the weekend for sure.
And it reminded some of what Hillary Clinton said years ago.
Yeah, watch this.
What do you think of Cory Booker's? And you didn't comment on him, and you feel free.
Oh, I adore him.
What do you think about him saying kicked him in the shins, essentially? Start to get to that kind of political.
Well, that was Eric Holder.
Yeah, Eric Holder,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know they all look alike.
No, they don't.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There we go. Good times, right? Good times.
Good times. Mm-hmm. Really good times. Good times like this.
I mean, you got the first sort of mainstream African American who was articulate and bright and clean and nice looking guy. I mean, that's a storybook, man.
It's a storybook, man. It's a storybook.
It's a storybook.
You don't get that with black people. You just don't get that with
I mean, next thing you're going to be telling me there's a black Disney princess. Oh, goodness. Wow. That's
so now he was absent from the network's live coverage of the South Carolina primary on Saturday. One day after being accused of sexual harassment by GQ columnist Laura Bassett.
Uh-oh.
Among other allegations, Bassett, in a GQ opinion piece published Friday, claimed Matthews told a network makeup artist to keep putting makeup on her and asked, "Why haven't I fallen in love with you yet?" What? Weird stuff. Wow. In 2016, right before I had to go on his show and talk about sexual assault allegations against Donald Trump, she said, Matthews looked over at me in the makeup chair next to him and said, "Why haven't I fallen in love with you yet?" When I laughed nervously and said nothing, he followed up to the makeup artist. "Keep putting makeup on her. I'll fall in love with her."
Oh, what?
I mean, is that really a big deal?
Yeah, well.
I guess it is.
And then he continued.
Another time, he stood between me and the mirror and complimented the red dress I was wearing in the segment. "You going out tonight?" he asked.
Uh-oh.
I said, I don't know. And he said again to the makeup artist, "Make sure you wipe this off her face after the show. We don't want her up so some guy at a bar can look at her like this."
Like what? Like what, Chris? The way you're looking at her right now? Oh, that's just weird.
I'm pretty sure that behavior doesn't rise to the level of illegal sexual harassment, she added, but but it undermined my ability to do my job well. And after I published a story about it, even though I didn't name him, dozens of people reached out to say they knew exactly who it was. would it surprise anybody to know that Chris Matthews is, kind of a douche? I don't think that would surprise too many people.
Who's that?
But it looks like he might be gone. I mean, between that and all the stuff that he's doing on the air, it just may be time for Chris Matthews. Maybe he's already gone. He might already be out.
Yeah, think of that. Over the course of 7 days, he angered the MSNBC base by the analogy with the French and the Nazis and Bernie, right?
Right.
He said Tim Scott and this guy running against Lindsey Graham got them confused.
Mm-hmm.
And now this claim getting some traction. This probably is getting traction because the other stuff's going on, and the left has spent the last week trying to figure out how to get him out.
It might be time for a retrospective of Chris Matthews' greatest hits because I think we lost him.
I think you're right.
There's some great stuff in his past like this.
I forgot he was black tonight for an hour.
I work for Americans for Prosperity. This is not about the Koch brothers. This is about freedom for...
Who's paying your salary?
I work for Americans for Prosperity. We're a nonprofit.
Who's paying your salary?
Unions are Americans for Prosperity. I came here to talk about the policy, and this is about freedom. This is about economic liberty.
Who's paying your salary to do what you're doing right now?
I just told you, Americans for Prosperity. We're a 501c4, and we've been advocating...
What's that?
I'm sorry?
What's that? Who's paying to do this today?
I just told you, Americans for Prosperity. We're a nonprofit. We're for...
Okay,
I just told you what the answer is. I came here to talk about policy. This is about freedom for workers. My family were union workers, and they had to leave the state a long time ago.
So you're not, just to make this clear, Mr. King, you're the president of an international union. You were elected, and you serve, and you get paid by the union. I understand that. I just want to understand with this other fellow how he finances his being here today, because there's a real question whether you're a front for the owners, for the people that really don't like unions. And you tell me you won't answer the question who's paying your salary.
He's answered it 4 times.
Who's paying you? Who's paying you?
We have over 3,000 donors here in this.
Gosh.
Americans for Prosperity. I told you we're a nonprofit, just like the Red Cross, just like any other nonprofit.
And that, of course, led to this.
What's that? Who pays your salary? What's that? Who pays? What's that?
Good stuff.
Man. Then you had this classic moment.
Let me finish tonight with the American president we're about to lose. Barack Obama is, above all, a fine man. Just look at him. Is there a husband, a father that we would wish more as a model for our sons-in-law to have and raise our grandchildren? Is there anyone who carries himself better in word and sentiment and temperament and optimism?
No.
Hope.
No, there's nobody. He went on to say at one point that Barack Obama was perfect. He was a perfect person. Oh. That's amazing. Then, of course, I don't know if I still have it. I can't find the. I can't find where he said that there was a thrill going up his leg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So do I have?
Looked up
this.
Look up thrill.
Yeah. The thrill is gone. Do you remember this though? This shows how much Chris Matthews changed over the years, because this was back in 2005 or 6 when Glenn was on CNN Headline News.
About a third of the population shows up to vote. This time it was over 60%.
Right.
People were sick to death of it. They wanted their voice to be heard. And people that play partisan politics and the media and everything else want you to believe that your voice doesn't matter.
You think the word circus would have been used so many times if they thought a liberal Democrat was going to win?
Oh, I don't know. I think
the word circus was meant to diminish the significance of a Republican victory.
Maybe. I think everybody thought it was going to be a circus. Wow. At least I did. When it first started, and there's Mary Carey and Gary Coleman, et cetera, et cetera. It looked like a circus. But I got to tell you, there were many lessons to learn in the recall election.
You're great. I listen to you all the time. I think you're about 30 years older than you are. You're amazingly smart for such a young guy. Anyway, thank you. Glenn, back.
I mean, how much did that guy change over the years?
Yeah.
At MSNBC. That's absolutely astounding. Really amazing. Oof. And now I think he's gone. I think we lost him. Well, we'll see. Yep. See if he's there tonight. 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Rants Out Loud tweets. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez literally won a science fair. so she can build a volcano against the coronavirus.
There you go.
All right. Scotty Sweatman, AOC couldn't be any less credible in that clip if she were lecturing us on architecture in a collapsing building. Very true. From Mary McLaughlin, I have promised myself not to be mean on Twitter and hear people calling you a barmaid. I'm here to correct the mean tweets. You're a bartender, and you continue to serve drunken people. You're slosh. Is she a bartender? Was she a bartender?
No.
Well, because if she was a bartender, she's got experience mixing drinks, so you know she's good on the coronavirus.
Oh, I see what you did there.
She can cure diseases. If you can mix a drink, you can save people's lives. Although it's probably more likely she's been taking people's lives by serving them too much.
And just a reminder, she was mocking Vice President Mike Pence, saying he wasn't qualified.
No qualification for overseeing the coronavirus effort. Jeez. But she has it. She's got plenty of experience.
Ooh,
you know that.
She's good.
You know that.
She's good.
So now that 80 people have the virus, 2 people have died in America. If you get sick, do you go get checked for coronavirus now? I got sick over the weekend, and I thought, well, how do I know this isn't coronavirus?
Oh, boy. Have you traveled to Washington State?
No, but, a lot of people are getting it, and they don't know where it came from now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a community spread.
Yeah. I saw one of the persons in Seattle that tested positive was a mail carrier, a USPS employee.
Oh.
Makes you wonder.
Makes you wonder if he got it from something that was delivered on the mail, somebody touching it who was sick. Because it can live on stuff.
And I don't know about you.
That sucks.
But when I'm going through eBay or Amazon or something like that now, I'm not buying anything that says
China.
It's coming from China.
Yeah. That's a good safety tip right now, I think.
Yep.
It's just wow. The stock market can't keep going down, The economy can't keep taking a hit.
Yeah.
We've got to have a solid economy in November for the election.
Yes, we do. And by the way,
otherwise we're going to have Bernie Sanders or Joe Biden as president of the United States.
No. Coronavirus totals 88. Sorry, not 80. It's 88. So we're at 88 in the United States.
Jeez. Okay.
2 deaths.
Oof. Joe Biden won big in South Carolina, again, by like 32 points. Close, I guess 31 points. Because it was about 50-19, Biden over Sanders. And then Steyer was a distant third despite all the money he spent. 12.6%. He dropped out of the race, as did Pete Buttigieg, which was a little surprising to me. Because Buttigieg supposedly was bringing in a lot of money, a lot of campaign donations. He was among the leaders in campaign contributions. So I thought he might stick this out for a while, but I'm glad he didn't. I'm fine with him getting out.
Yeah, he's got that vice presidential angle now.
That's probably what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
So what, we got 6 left, right? So who do we got left? We've got Biden and Sanders, Bloomberg, Warren, Klobuchar, and Tulsi still hanging on.
And Tulsi, who doesn't even make it to the debates. And got 0% in one of these. I think it was Nevada. I think she got 0%. Literally 35 votes in Nevada. Ouch.
Well, she didn't spend
that's not good.
$3,300, $3,400 like Tom Steyer did per vote.
That's true.
Ridiculous.
Very true.
So you think you have the coronavirus?
Yes.
You gonna go get
Pretty
tested?
sure I do. I might. Yeah.
Go to the doctor.
I think I will. I'll just do the local test, and then they'll have to send it to the CDC, and we'll find out this week, I guess, what I've got.
So I'm gonna stay on this side of the room.
Okay. Yeah. You probably should. And we won't shake hands.
No.
All right. No. And I'll try to cough into my arm.
That's good.
I'll try.
And like you sneeze into your elbow?
Promise. Yes.
Okay.
Both. Biden has been telling this massive lie lately.
So weird.
Actually got caught on it. But why do they do this? When it's just, it's going to be found out. People are going to look into it. They're going to say, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't realize you got arrested in South Africa with Nelson Mandela. So let's look into that. Let's find out about that. Maybe we can get some video on that.
They told it over and over again on the trail.
And over again, he's telling this story about how he was arrested in South Africa with Nelson Mandela. And then, I wasn't.
What's it?
Okay.
I do want to ask you about one thing that you said repeatedly on the trail. I think it's 3 times now. You said that during a visit to South Africa to visit Nelson Mandela, which I know was a very memorable visit for you, that you were arrested when you were there. Your campaign has come out since and said, no, you were separated from other people at the airport. But you did say arrest 3 times. Why?
Why? Good question.
Well, what I meant to say was I got off that. Look, I strongly opposed apartheid. I was one of the leaders. If you doubt it, go on JoeBiden.com and look at the exchange between George Shultz and the Foreign Relations
Tell us about
Committee.
that.
And here's the deal.
Why'd you lie?
I was with a black delegation, the CDC, the Congressional Black Caucus. They had me get off a plane. The Afrikaners got on in their short pants and their guns, led me off first, and moved me in a direction totally different. I turned around and everybody, the entire black delegation was going another way. I said, I'm not going to go in that door that says white only. I'm going with them. They said, you're not. You can't move. You can't go with them. And they kept me there until finally I decided they were clear I wasn't going to move. And so what they finally did, they said, okay, they're not going to make the congressional delegation go through the black door. They're not going to make me go through the white door. They took us, if my memory serves me, through a baggage claim area up to a restaurant, and they cleared out a restaurant. I felt strongly about apartheid, one of the reasons we were there. And long after this, when Nelson Mandela was freed and came to the United States, he came to my office.
Right, but why did you lie?
He was one of the most incredible men I ever met. He sat down in my office, thanked me for trying to all the work I did on apartheid. And so that's the context.
Yeah, but why did you lie?
Arrested,
I didn't ask for the context.
I was not able to move.
Why'd you lie?
Cops, Afrikaners would not let me go with them, made me stay where I was.
But why'd you lie?
I guess I wasn't arrested. I was stopped. I was not able to move where I wanted to go.
Yeah, but
I guess,
why'd you lie? That was the question.
Guess I wasn't arrested. That's kind of something that sticks with you.
I guess I wasn't arrested. But I couldn't move for a minute.
I
couldn't move. That's the same as being arrested, right? That's a lot like somebody putting handcuffs on you. I couldn't move for a minute. Like, did they take me in handcuffs to the jail cell? No. But I did have to stand there for a minute.
Yeah.
I stood there, right there.
So when you're in line at the grocery store and you really can't move,
I was arrested. I was
that's
arrested
the same
in
as
line.
being arrested.
In line at Kroger, I was arrested.
Right, and Costco backs up on the weekends, man. That's like hard time.
I've been arrested many times at Costco.
Right?
Yeah, many times because I've stood there a lot of times, and they asked me to go into one section, and I went in another one.
I tell you, some of those lines are so long. It's like they threw away the key. You just stand there waiting. It's like, okay, oh, I see. The members go on one side and the cart goes on the other side. Whatever. I feel like I'm being arrested right now, Mr. Costco.
It's unbelievable. I mean, that is unbelievable. And he's not held accountable.
No.
Because he's let off the hook by babbling this, let me give you context nonsense. I don't want the context. I want to know why you lied about it. Why did you lie, Joe?
And let me get this reference of Nelson Mandela coming to the United States. Let me slip that in there. I mean, what in the world? And of course, he waits until after the vote in South Carolina to admit this.
Yes.
Because he doesn't want his little story that he's been telling black voters in South Carolina the truth, that he was never arrested.
Amazing. It's amazing. I mean, and how does that help you? What? It just makes it look like South Africa was even worse than they were because they were arresting American officials, right? I mean, he went over there and he was a big apartheid guy or anti-apartheid guy, and so they arrested him for that because he's white and he's from the United States. Very strange. Really weird. I don't even know what any of that would have meant.
Yeah.
They arrested him because he wouldn't go through the blacks only door or the whites only door.
I don't know. Yeah, it's amazing how well he did among the black vote in South Carolina.
Oh, he got 64% of the vote.
Right, when he has a history of insensitive remarks.
Played it a few minutes ago.
And even deeper than the ones that we played.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Buttigieg, handles a crisis wrong in his city and gets 2% of the vote in
Boy, they don't like
South
him.
Carolina.
They don't.
2% of the black vote.
You know, that's probably one of the reasons he dropped out, because he's got no black support. I think he had 2% of the vote or something.
Correct.
And Sanders had 15, so it was 64-15 in the black vote for Biden over Sanders. Ooh, that's tough to overcome. You're not going to overcome that. In the Democrat Party, if that's the way this plays out tomorrow, Biden's going to win a lot of states. Mm-hmm. And apparently, he's got big plans for an African American woman.
Oh,
he talked about that as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to appointing the first African American woman to the United States Senate.
Wait, what? I'm sorry,
not
what?
to satisfy anybody, but
Wait,
what? Okay.
Is that a new job?
Is
of
that
the
a new
executive?
thing that we don't know about?
Oh, wow.
looking forward to appointing the first African American woman to the United States Senate.
You're going to appoint
the
first African American senator.
That's what he said.
Okay. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, because so what the president is going to do in the future
is appoint senators.
Right. So we took the state legislatures out of the equation, right? And we did popular vote in each state. And now
that was quite some time ago.
Right. So now is the next phase of America. It's where just the president of the United States gets to
just
pick
appoints
and choose.
them.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's going to be amazing now because there's not going to be these log jams between the Senate and the president.
Oh, that'll speed things up.
Because these will be who the president chooses.
And
it's going to be a lot faster now.
He'll probably choose people who are okay with his agenda, who are on board with it, and he'll get a lot of things through. So I didn't realize he was going to take that responsibility on himself.
There's just too many stalemates going on right now.
So the president of the United States, if it's Joe Biden, is going to start appointing U.S. senators.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. All right.
Can't wait. It's going to be a new day.
Could he screw up any more than he does? What are you talking about? You're going to appoint a black senator. What? That's bizarre. He was a senator. He knows how it works. What is going on with him?
Obviously,
what's going on?
He meant to say Supreme Court, I would imagine.
Maybe it was Supreme. He never corrects himself, though, so you don't know if he meant to say that or not.
Look, fat. He could do more push-ups than you.
You want to go out and do a marathon? You want to run a marathon right now? No.
No.
Okay, then. All right, then. Don't backsass me. Okay. All right, Joe.
And so was he asked about this over the weekend, about how terrible he is on the campaign
Chris
trail?
Wallace confronted him a little bit about, and he called it his shaky performances. Check this out. Here's what he had to say about that.
To do that. Mr. Vice President, I don't especially like asking you about this, but it is an issue in the campaign, and that has been your sometimes shaky performance on the campaign trail. Here's a story that you told at least 3 times about Nelson Mandela. Take a look.
He gets called
I
out
had the
again.
great honor of meeting him. I had the great honor of being arrested with our UN ambassador on the streets of Soweto trying to get to see him on Robbins Island.
Wait, what?
You now say you weren't arrested and it didn't happen in Soweto. You were at the airport in Johannesburg and you were stopped from going through the door for blacks. I guess the question is, were you confused or were you just trying to embellish a story?
No,
what I was doing was talking about the fact that I was strongly opposed to apartheid. When we landed in we were going to Soweto, actually. We landed in Johannesburg.
Yeah,
and the Afrikaners took me off the plane, took me in one direction.
Were they wearing shorts?
Me to go through a white-only door, and in fact, I wouldn't move. I said, everybody else is going
Pause
through
it for a second. None of this has anything to do with what he's been asked.
No.
Again. What I was trying to do was I was talking about, I was strongly opposed to apartheid. Okay.
Hey, Chris, ever told you about how I want to appoint the first African-American woman to the U.S. Senate?
I'm going to do that when I'm president, Chris. I'm going to start appointing African-American women to the Senate. Oh, all right. All right, Joe. Thank you. All right, let's see the rest of this. See if he ever gets to it.
I'm going with the black delegation that I came with. They said, no, you can't. And I said, well, I'm standing here. I'm not going to move. And they would not let me move anywhere. So I guess I should have said I was detained. I was not able to move forward. So what they finally did was they went out and they cleared out a baggage claim area. Took us all up through the baggage claim area up and cleared out a restaurant. Look, and if anybody wonders whether or not what I said about my desire and my adamancy about apartheid, you've covered it. Go back and look at JoeBiden.com.
That's not what we're talking about, Joe.
No, you're right.
What's happened?
Did you go to JoeBiden.com?
Your record is clear.
No,
let me ask you, though, here's something else you said this week. Take a look.
Oh, here we go.
I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Look me over. If you like what you see, help out. If not, vote for the other Biden. Give me a look, though, okay?
Vote for the other Biden.
You haven't run for the Senate since 2008.
Yeah, you're not a black woman, man.
No, the context was, I said to everybody, I said, look,
We're
I'm
back
going
to context
say the
again.
same thing that I've always said. Like I used to campaign in Delaware. I'd say, I'd knock on the door. I say, my name is Joe Biden, Democratic candidate for the United States Senate.
Look me over.
Look me over. If you like me, help me out. If not, vote for the other guy.
Sniff, sniff.
That's a sentence I repeated throughout making the case.
Yeah.
And I said, and I'm here now to ask
His
you
grandson's
all
running
to
for
look
Senate.
me over. It was in the context of how I said I ran, because the context was
it
that
doesn't make
you can't,
any
as was
sense
pointed
at all.
out by Cedric and
Still
others on my
talking?
campaign, and
By my
how
Cedric
I
and
ran
others.
when I ran for the Senate.
Why are you lying?
People will not. They expect you to ask them. You have
This
to
is
earn their
just
vote.
nonsense.
Buy a shotgun.
Does anybody buy into any of that? I mean, that's crazy stuff. That's crazy. Then I love how the interview ends with Chris Wallace.
Oh, no.
Mr. Vice President, thank you.
Wow.
Thanks for your time. Please come back in less than 13 years, sir.
All right, Chuck. Thank you very much.
All right. It's Chris, but anyway.
Chuck. I just did Chris.
Oh,
no,
wait.
I just did Chuck.
I did Chuck.
I tell you what, man.
I just
these
did
are
Chris.
Back to back.
No.
Anyway.
No, it's
I don't know how
okay.
you do it early in the morning, too.
Awkward.
Safe travels on the campaign trail. Thank you, sir.
I tell you what.
Awkward.
How do you do it so early in the morning? What, the sun's already up, man. What are you talking about?
Wow. That's awkward stuff. It's uncomfortable. You almost feel bad for him.
Almost.
I mean, seriously, this is happening so much. You start to think, okay, it's really a thing now. I mean, it's really a thing you have to be worried about.
Mm-hmm.
If he were to be elected, could he make it through his first term even? I don't know.
Boy.
I don't know.
That's bad.
I remember when Reagan was elected the second time, when he ran in 1984, people were already worried about him. And we're talking about that. And toward the end of that second term, there were a few things that were concerning. Now, he got through it, and then, 2 or 3 years later, they announced that he had Alzheimer's. You'd hate to see the same thing happen with Joe Biden. And these are things between Bernie Sanders' heart attack and Joe Biden's mental problems. Donald Trump has a lot to talk about against either one of them, and
Right.
he will.
And
He won't hesitate.
I absolutely hate the context for this possibility, but you really have to start thinking of the importance of who is chosen as the Democratic vice presidential nominee.
Yeah, you do.
Because that person could
very easily with either one of those guys
Yes.
become president of the United States. So that's a really good point.
But let's make sure that that's not ever an issue to worry about in this country. Let's just not even go there.
I hope they vet whoever's going to be vice president pretty carefully, because if they were to win, heaven forbid, that vice president could be president before that first term is up. Scary stuff.
Yep.
I mean, Biden is in really tough shape, even though he won huge on Saturday night in South Carolina. If people are watching him in these upcoming Super Tuesday states, I would be really hesitant to place my vote for him. Even if I really thought he was the right guy, he was moderate enough for me, at least he's not a socialist, and he's maybe the one who can beat Trump. You've got to factor in his mental health right now, don't you?
Absolutely. Don't forget.
Wow.
14 states and 1 territory, right?
Yep.
That's tomorrow, Super Tuesday. And
already.
The landscape is going to be in 48 hours. Who knows what?
888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up. I got to play one more Biden atrocity for the weekend. This guy was everywhere. If he wasn't just out in left field somewhere where nobody knew what he was talking about, he was just lying through his teeth. The lies that he spouted about President Trump's response to the coronavirus, pretty amazing.
Inform you that.
So that's not it.
Oh, that sounded familiar, though.
Yeah, that's not it.
I wonder if that guy's running for office anywhere.
I don't think so.
I know what I would have done differently. What we did in the Ebola crisis. I heard Vice President say they set up an office in the White House. We had an office in the White House.
Okay.
After us dealing with a pandemic that could have been incredibly dangerous and affected the world, Ebola, we set up an entire mechanism as how to deal with future outbreaks of pandemic diseases. They eliminated that office when they came in play.
Right.
They cut the funding for CDC. They did not, in fact, want to keep they tried to cut the funding in terms of HHS. And so,
in another interview, he says NIH, the National Institute of Health in Great Britain.
No.
Yeah. I thought this was the one, but
no.
So there's another major gaffe.
Well, obviously, the Democrats have big plans for our health system.
But yes.
We knew this was coming. Back as far as January. They didn't even begin to prepare the testing kits. I mean, this is something that's kind of elementary. We talked about testing kits. We're now going to get them. Well, I don't want to talk down the possibility of us being able to do this well.
Why are you then?
The idea that Donald Trump said just several days ago this was a Democratic hoax.
No, he didn't.
What in God's name is he talking about?
Not that. What are you talking about? Because, that's almost all lies. It's almost all pure lie. He did not cut funding to the CDC. And he did not say it was a Democratic hoax. He never said that. All that stuff has already been debunked, and he just keeps spouting it. The other thing he was saying at the other interview was that Trump was muzzling scientists in his administration. He was keeping them from speaking out. And they all came out and said, he's never done that.
Yeah, and at the press conference,
he's not doing that.
On Saturday, the guy who was supposedly the one who was muzzled was at the press conference, and he said to the press right there,
"Not muzzled."
No, I wasn't muzzled. I was just trying to get clearance on something before I released it. That's not being muzzled. That's just making sure that you have the permission to go ahead and release this information. That's all that is.
That's unbelievable. One lie after another. They just don't care. They couldn't care less because they're almost never challenged on this stuff. It's surprising that anybody challenged him on the being arrested in South Africa thing. I'm kind of amazed.
Yeah.
But good for them for at least asking him. They didn't follow up with, Joe, that didn't answer my question. Why'd you lie? I didn't ask for the context of your lie. I asked for why you told the lie in the first place.
But don't you want to know about the time that I met Nelson Mandela?
No, I don't.
Oh, no.
No, I don't.
How about
or the time he came to the United States and tongue-kissed you because he loved you so much.
Right. What about when the Afrikaners had short shorts on?
Yeah, I didn't want to know about that.
Well, he always had to slip that detail in. That was weird. Yeah,
very weird.
They came on with their little shorts on and whatnot.
Maybe he got a little touchy-feely with them, and that's what sticks out in his mind so much. I don't know.
Sniffing the hair of the Afrikaners.
Oh, man. I think they used your hair smells terrific shampoo because that was a while ago, when that stuff was very popular. And they smelled really good. They really did.
Does he like it?
Yeah.
Like, what would you compare that scent to? I'm not familiar. Like, is it strawberries?
Well, I'd have to ask Joe because it's been a while since I've smelled. Okay. Gee, your hair smells terrific.
Gee, your hair smells terrific?
Yeah. Do you remember that stuff?
No.
You don't remember?
Gee, your hair
smells terrific.
Smells terrific. Autocomplete.
Pretty sure that's gone.
I love the font. It's very 70s retro there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's from a while
We need to bring this back. I want to smell. I missed out on the first go around, so now I want to take a whiff here. What's going on? I want to.
I'm sorry.
That looks like.
Sorry to disappoint you, Keith. That's that.
Oh, look at that! 11 things you might not know you can still buy.
Is that one of them? Well, is your hair smells terrific one of them?
There's a lot of click-throughs. Okay. Here we have sword canes. That's cool. And your hair smells terrific. An 80s shampoo. Let's see. No longer you can buy it at the Vermont Country Store.
Wow.
So look at that.
Online, or do I have to go to Vermont?
Well, it linked to their website, but it didn't link to the product. So now I'm beginning to wonder if your hair still smells terrific.
Probably
not that I have any real use for it or not. You see? Ta-da.
All right. In New York, We got another celebrity that is joining the powers that be. Billy Idol is joining forces with communist mayor Bill de Blasio. And this is just great stuff. Here's the audio of Billy Idol with Mayor de Blasio.
We got the video here.
Their war on idling.
Look at that. Billy never idles. Billy never idles. Billy never.
And what is the idling thing? You can't sit in the car and idle?
Yeah, like I don't know how many minutes.
Or you're going to be arrested or killed or whatever in New York?
I think publicly flogged is what they do in New York now when you leave your car running for more than 30 seconds at a time. Yes.
Seriously, it's 30 seconds?
I don't know what it is. I mean, you're asking me details that are probably important.
Yeah,
Idle
probably.
Ordinance. Let's see here. NYC. What do we got here?
So if you sit and idle in your car.
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
What happens to you then?
A public flogging.
Okay.
We've been over this.
All right.
Let's see. It doesn't say.
And see how cute that is? They got Billy Idol.
Oh, I see what happened.
Whose name is spelled differently than the idling we're talking about.
So now...
But still, it sounds like idle, like he'd be idling in his car. That's cute. That's adorable.
So how would you like to be the de Blasio staffer who has to make that call? And they're like,
hey, Billy.
Hey, I'm trying to get in touch with Billy Idol's representation. And it's probably, at this point in time, it's probably Billy Idol himself who answers the phone.
Probably.
Right? I mean, he's doing that one commercial that came out recently. But, so we're doing this campaign in New York where
we don't want people to idle in their cars. And your name, I don't know if you're aware of this, is Idle. So we thought this would be a natural.
Yeah. So, interested?
And the answer was yes, obviously.
What will you pay me? Yeah, so
that's great.
Only legally authorized emergency motor vehicles can idle for longer than 3 minutes while parking, standing, or stopping.
Wow.
And let's see, that's one exception. The other one is vehicles whose engine is used to operate a loading, unloading, or processing device. And then if you're found guilty, if you're not one of those two exceptions, let's see, punishable by death. Yes.
Death,
correct.
okay.
Yep.
Wow. Nice.
It doesn't say what the...
Powerful. I think that would stop me from idling.
Right.
They can't not take more control in New York. They just keep removing people's freedom from them. You can't sit in your car and idle. You can't have large sodas. Well, I think they overturned that now, but... they tried to take away the trans fats. They tried to take away butter. They tried to take away salt. Now you can't sit in your car. And keep in mind, it's winter in New York. So people would tend to idle in their cars a little bit because it's cold.
Yeah, one thing they can't take away is the shampoo, Gee, Your Hair Smells Terrific, available for $14.95 at the Vermont Country Store. Just posted a link. So
good.
Go and buy some. Only 2.5 stars out of 5? Out of 192 ratings? That just seems... a
little low.
Yeah, I would have thought
Doesn't
more.
seem worth it, frankly.
No.
Doesn't seem worth it. 888-900-3393. We mentioned late last week that Tony Romo had been offered the Monday Night Football gig. And I said, if CBS even comes close to this, he should probably stay because he's with one of the best in the business, Jim Nantz. You got all the nebulous unknowns when you go over to ESPN. He'd be working with Joe Tessitore. That whole broadcast has been it's lost its luster for sure since they moved it from ABC to ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
ESPN's never done it really well.
No, it's a good point.
Well, Tony Romo just agreed to stay at CBS.
Okay.
For $17 million a year.
Ooh, whoa.
That is maybe double what he ever made in the NFL. Close to it.
I could buy my loyalty for
$17 million a year.
So if they do one playoff game, well, I guess if it's going to be a 17-game schedule now, that's just $1 million per game, right?
Yes.
Not counting the playoffs, then.
Right.
Wow. Okay. Well, then.
Pretty sweet.
I'm staying.
I don't even know if CBS has any of the playoff games. They might.
I mean, every year. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they have the AFC Championship game and the divisional round.
So this is the largest sports analyst contract in TV history.
I mean, look, he's throwing in the playoff games and possibly Super Bowl years for free.
That was big of him.
What a bargain.
Yeah. The deal to remain at CBS prevents him from entering free agency next week, where ESPN was prepared to bid aggressively for him.
I bet they were.
Romo's new contract with CBS will pay him around $17 million a season, which is more than double the previous NFL high of $8 million per year that John Madden got. He's going to make more than double John Madden.
And you got to wonder how he would do with someone other than Jim Nantz, because Jim Nantz sets him up beautifully.
Sure does.
Jim Nantz is awesome.
Yes.
And it makes you wonder how Tony Romo, just away from him, how would he be? And I love how Michael Thomas, the wide receiver for the Saints, said, no announcer should be making $17 million a year. Okay, shut up. You're paid $20 million a year to catch a football.
Yeah.
All right, Michael? Anyhow, so good for Tony.
Yeah, good for him.
That's
if you can get it, go get it.
Uh-huh.
During his playing career, Romo earned a total of $127 million over 14 seasons.
Oh, do I have to do math or something?
Yeah, divide
really
127 by 14.
I don't want to do math on the air. I hate that.
There were only three. Okay, he did make more than $17 million in three seasons.
I can put the 70s calculator down.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay.
He made more than $17 million in 3 seasons. Huh.
Well.
All right. CBS was motivated by Disney's ability to start bidding on Romo again next week when he could have been eligible for free agency. CBS thought Disney, which hoped to use Romo as a carrot as it goes after a Super Bowl in the next round of negotiations, they would bid $20 million per year. So he might have taken a little bit less than CNN or ESPN would have offered. Though Romo's salary is astronomical for 20 NFL games, CBS officials felt he showed loyalty because he could have explored how high ESPN would go.
Yeah, 17 million reasons to stay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what? I'm
all right. I'll stay.
I mean, look, I'm giving you guys like a hometown deal here, but all right, fine, 17 million.
You got to wonder how the play-by-play guy feels about that, because Nantz, I mean, he's not hurting for money. He's probably making, look it up, I'll bet $5 million, $6 million a year, something like that. Romo's probably making triple what he is. That's just incredible.
Okay, so
as far as I'm concerned, he's worth it.
The net worth estimation of Jim Nantz is $15 million. His salary is $5 million.
Yeah, that was my guess. $5 million a year. So he's making over 3 times the salary of the guy who does play-by-play. That is amazing. That's amazing.
And I guess the argument, Tony Romo's agent would probably be, what kind of ratings were you getting when it was Jim Nantz and was it Phil Simms?
Oh, yeah.
One of the blonde quarterbacks from the 80s. And, I mean, seriously, they're like the same guy, Boomer Esiason and Phil Simms.
Phil Simms,
I don't even know.
Person.
Like when they show the set of CBS, I'm like, I know these guys, and these guys flip a coin. So anyhow, I'm sure they're substantially higher.
Anyway, he's pretty well set up.
I would say he's doing well for himself. Tony Romo at $17 million a year now at CBS. What is the how long was the contract for? Do we know? Does it say? How many years? Let's see. Tony Romo.
I don't know.
Years contract CBS.
Is it 5?
3-year deal.
3?
Well, no, that says no. His last one was 3 years. So I don't know what this one's.
The long-term deal that is for significantly more than 5 years.
Oh.
So it's more than 5 years.
Significantly more?
Yes. It will well surpass $100 million in guaranteed money. Nice. That's nice.
All right.
Okay, good for you, Tony. That's nice. Losing your hair sucks, right? I mean, Keeps, though, can help you. They can help you a lot. Keeps, Keeps, offers generic versions of the only 2 FDA-approved hair loss products that are on the market.
Yeah, so you got to get this so you have a reason to buy that shampoo. Gee, your hair smells terrific.
Right. So all you have to do, it's really easy. You just go online and snap a few pictures of your hair. A doctor will review all your information, and then they'll recommend the right FDA-approved hair loss treatment for you. Then it's shipped discreetly to your door. And you might be wondering, well, okay, but does it work? Well, 66% of men experience hair regrowth thanks to Keeps. 90% experience the hair loss stopping. So it stops the hair loss, and then in 90% of the time, 66% of the time, you then grow more hair. It's awesome. It's a fantastic product. So do something about it. Here's the deal that we got for you. Go to Keeps.com, KEEPS.com/Pat. Get your first order of Keeps hair loss treatment for 50% off. 50% off. Keeps.com/Pat.
Billy never idles, Pat. Billy never idles.
Yeah. I got some tweets here at Bane of Idiocy. If the president can appoint senators, as Biden said he was going to do, can Trump replace Romney and every Democrat senator? The Steve 42 shaky performance is a nice way to say senile dementia.
Wow.
Yeah, it does feel like it. Mm-hmm. Stoning Duck tweets, look, Fat Joe, everyone was against apartheid. You're the only one lying about being arrested. Mm-hmm. So true. From Nick, Biden talking to Chris Wallace sounds like the Miss America contestant. Oh, yeah, the U.S. Americans. Some U.S. Americans don't have maps.
Yeah, some people out there.
Blaze Addict 2, there is no way Joe Biden, is mentally capable of running this country. That's probably very true.
Yes.
Also, happy Independence Day to Texas today.
Yeah.
March 2nd is Texas Independence Day.
Woo!
Then 4 days later, of course, the Alamo was attacked on March 6th. The siege began. And then, like a little over a month and a half later, the Battle of San Jacinto happened. One of the most decisive, overwhelming, unbelievable victories in military history.
So it took a month and a half for Texas to beat the crap out of Mexico.
To lure the Mexican army into the Houston area at San Jacinto and defeat them in 18 minutes. 18 minutes. Just an amazing military feat. All right. Also today, not only Texas Independence Day, yesterday was the 1 year anniversary.
Correct,
right?
Yeah.
March 1st was a 1 year anniversary of one of the most famous phone calls I think we've ever had on the show. The call from Judy, who took everything super literal. And here's how that went. Judy in Pennsylvania. You're on the Blaze. Hi.
Pat, I would like you to be legitimized with Jesus Christ today.
Amen.
I would like you to tell what you really mean is the truth. When I woke up out of my sleep with the TV on, to talk all the time about how wonderful Glenn Beck was and Pat Gray was, that they led such a strong leadership against abortion. They were totally against all types of abortion. All the men and women on the Blaze were. And then to hear you say in the middle of the night that your own buddy, Glenn Beck, was a hypocrite, and you were a hypocrite. When you were on the Fox News, when he worked at Fox before the Blaze, when my husband, who died from Agent Orange, and was such a great fan of Glenn Beck, and now is he to hear in the afterlife?
Well, wait a minute. Okay, wait. I mean, you're going a million different places here, and I don't even know what the allegation is. What are you saying?
You were saying that Glenn Beck was part of the Obama administration.
Yeah.
And that he never meant any of that against abortion.
No, that's what Alex Jones was saying. It's a lie. It's not true.
But you didn't say it last night.
I didn't say it last night. Well, I wasn't on last night. It was yesterday.
Well, that was the middle of the night program. That was
okay. The replay. You're hearing the replay. Yeah.
I heard the replay. I didn't hear it the first time. But don't you understand? Nobody explained it. It sounded like everyone there were hypocrites. And I know what you stand for. Tell the truth about it.
We are telling the truth. It's Alex Jones is not telling the truth about Glenn Beck and being part with. See, we were being facetious. Perhaps you didn't pick up on that.
Well, she was listening in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I mean
let's give her a little bit of a break.
So appreciate the call, though.
That happens all the time. I see stuff.
For those who don't pick up on sarcasm, perhaps, or irony, Glenn Beck was not in league with Obama.
I'm sorry, is it a bad time for that?
Yeah, it's a really bad time for that. And neither was I.
Uh-huh.
And nobody at this building is a member of the FBI or the CIA. This is not an FBI CIA substation.
That's what they want.
Okay.
Amazing.
Now, I will say, Buck Sexton once worked for the CIA. We've made no secret about that.
No, we have not. And we've also made no secret of how that's how Mr. Jones.
You're confusing her.
And I call it Mr. Jones loosely. Could reach his conclusions.
Yeah.
Because, oh my gosh, there was someone who worked for the Blaze who worked for the CIA.
Now, I made the mistake of believing it was self-evident that Alex Jones was being ridiculous.
You know what? You got to be a little bit more responsible now since you have that check mark on Twitter. You're verified, and so what you say holds more weight.
That's right. So Judy bought into it wholeheartedly.
Sorry.
She thought we were really admitting, yep, you caught us. By golly. Glenn Beck is running an FBI CIA substation here out of this building. No.
Yeah.
Nothing could be further from the truth. And let's not forget, working for Obama.
Oh, that's right.
Who he loved, who he secretly loved.
Well, the secret's out now, isn't it?
Secret's
there,
out
Mr.
now.
Gray?
And Judy, that's there you go. You caught us again, a second time. And I admitted it again.
March 1st, 2019.
The call-in question, I think, was this.
He wants to be left standing as the new vestigial leader of what's left of libertarians. And, I just said here in the office earlier on air, I said, he brags he's got all these FBI agents that work for him, former FBI, that, he's got all these people. I've talked to people that worked there years ago about how they watch everything we do, and they're supposed to be us, but then demonize us. And
Right.
I was told that by
high-level people. Yeah. He's always talking to high-level people. You notice that? He knows so many high-level people and talks to them all the time.
I mean, repeatedly, and it's not even that big of a deal. I'd be going into Fox Studios, be on another show.
Right.
They'd say, Glenn Beck is freaking out, climbing walls.
Yeah.
You can't come on now. And I'd be, that's fine. I'm going over to The View and going over to do, CNN. It's not that big of a deal, but Glenn Beck and his, quote, people don't want you in here. They're throwing fits. And, they've got pull in the government.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean? And he goes, man, the guy's the government. Glenn Beck is the government.
He is the government.
I could name names, but I'm not going to name names.
No, name names, please. We want you to. Please, name names.
And then I was told by someone else.
Oh, boy.
High level. And these are people's names you'd know.
High level. You'd know these people.
About Glenn Beck. And that the FBI is there, a section of it from the Justice Department. And I go, but wait, he's going after Van Jones. He's going after Obama.
Right, yeah.
They're like, that's all fake.
All fake. All fake. He loves them all. He loves them. He loves them all.
Okay. Hey, I probably shouldn't mention this on the air, but I don't want to forget. We still have, you and I, a backlog of Alex Jones stuff that we need to be sitting around watching after the show today. Are we going to be, is that a good time for you? 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central? Got to catch up on Alex Jones because that's all we do around here is just watch Alex Jones.
Right.
Just watch Alex Jones. That's what we do at the Blaze. That's how we
well, he's heard it from high-level people.
High-level people have
used to
informed
work
him.
here. So,
yep. And by the way, my handler is on the line, so I need to step out. Okay.
888-900-3393. Showing you again, Judy caught us dead to rights last year. Yesterday was the anniversary of that phone call. So we played the Alex Jones, part of the Alex Jones clip that led to Judy calling us out and just figuring out that we really were the government. All about Obama. This is back in the Obama years. And Alex Jones knew it all. There's just no getting this kind of stuff by him,
and the guys are like, Alex, is that really true? And I said, of course it's true.
Of course it's true.
Look into him in the FBI. So they started search engineering.
Yeah.
And guess what they found from the Blaze?
Oh, my
Search engineering.
Hiding this in plain view.
Hiding it. I couldn't do this.
And again, how do I go from Ukraine to this?
How do you?
Because it's the whole government is just a bunch of special interest. CIA, NSA, FBI, corporate
NCAA.
Groups building their own private kingdoms.
Kingdoms.
Basically, Glenn Beck is like a private CIA takeover of Clear Channel is basically what's happening.
That's
and then no one else can make money at Clear Channel but Glenn Beck.
Right.
And at Premiere, and no one else gets paid money because all the former executives went over there, and it's all FBI and CIA run, and here they are openly hiding it in plain view.
Yeah.
10 questions for Buck Sexton. They are the Justice Department. They are Obama. And I'll just go ahead and we're going to put reports together.
Yeah,
Glenn Beck, you want it, buddy?
Yes.
Maybe I'll name names, son.
Do it. Name names.
You want it? You're going to get it. You want it?
Give it. Yes.
You're going to get it.
Okay, give it to me.
As I gave you the benefit of the doubt.
No, don't do that.
And I knew you were after me, and I said, leave me alone.
Go get him. Go get him.
What, you think the fact that you're Benedict Arnold going to come out?
Yeah. Man.
You were spouting White House talking points 3 days before word for word it came out of Media Matters.
Wow.
You got the memo before they did, bud.
Uh-oh.
We got your ass.
Ooh, yeah.
Whoa, hey. Coming on to him?
You want more? We're going to compile a dossier on all your people now.
All right.
And we're going to put it out for folks. We're going to realize your little base over there is a CIA, FBI substation.
He got us dead to rights. And that's what I was saying. And then Judy picked up on it, and she was pissed. I don't blame her.
And you notice that
he got us.
Those dossiers never came out because they started with the Jeff Fisher dossier, and they're still working on that one because there's a lot to compile there.
So much.
A lot going on with Jeffy.
Right. Plus, our people got to him, and we let him know. You better not. We are the government, and who knows what could happen here.
Wow.
I'm just saying. That's all. Plus, for him to realize that nobody else at Premier can make any money because Glenn makes it all. That's why Sean Hannity and Rush Limbaugh, who are both Premier personalities, are so incredibly destitute. They don't make any money. Glenn makes it all.
Yeah.
You think $40 million is a lot of money that Rush Limbaugh makes? No, it's hardly anything. And Hannity makes, I don't know, 15, 20 million from the radio side. 25, who knows?
I mean, that's
the chicken feed.
Yep.
Glenn makes it all. So, man, did he nail it. He nailed it. We are so transparent under his steely gaze.
I got your ass, buddy.
He's got it. I don't know what he's going to do with it.
I know we're good.
He's got it. We also caught Garth Brooks dead to rights, too.
Right?
Recently at his concert in Detroit. Oh, this guy.
I mean, you think he could fool us?
What, you think you're a country star and you're probably conservative leaning? Nope. Garth Brooks in Detroit, up on stage in front of everybody.
During election season.
Wearing a Sanders jersey.
Wow. Look at that.
Quite clearly, he's talking about Bernie Sanders, even though Barry Sanders played in Detroit for the Lions and wore the number 20.
And boy,
So
people
stupid.
just wanting a reason to get angry.
Yep.
Jumped all over him.
Which is ridiculous. Hello, come on.
Seriously.
Really? He's in Detroit wearing a number 20 Sanders jersey, and you think that's Bernie Sanders? When did Bernie Sanders ever wear the number 20?
Maybe they thought it was 2020. Look at this. Know your Sanders. Barry, Bernie, Belt Sander, Orbital Sander, Dion Sanders.
Colonel.
Colonel Sanders up there. I love it. But I mean, he just
nice.
I think that maybe the folks that are going after Garth actually have a point, because he probably did mean Bernie Sanders, because such an obscure reference. I mean, of Detroit Lions over the years, I'm surprised that he wasn't up there. You know, he picked some no-name running back that used to play. Why wasn't he wearing a Jeff Driscoll jersey? Yeah. Right, from back in the day. I mean, that's your Detroit Lion jersey you should be wearing.
Yeah, it sure is.
I mean, that's pathetic.
888-900-3393 and at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Also, baseball season is underway now, at least, the preseason. The warm-up games. I don't pay attention to this until, things get going. But the Astros are getting heckled everywhere they go, obviously.
Everywhere. People banging on garbage cans and knocking them to their faces.
So far, I've only heard about one time when a pitcher threw it at one of the Astro hitters. Have you heard about more than that?
That's the only one that I'm aware of, and that pitcher for the Marlins is a jerk who always throws it at the Braves' young superstar, Ronald Acuna. So I don't put that past him throwing at anyone, but it's really tough to decide who to root for there, Urena or the Astros. And so, he being the first batter of a game But a lot of the trouble is really coming from the stands and the fans themselves.
Yeah, here's some of the heckling they received.
Hey, you gonna give the trophy back? You guys keeping the trophy? You're gonna give it back?
As long as you keep paying.
How about that? How about the rings?
Are you paying to come see us?
Gonna keep the rings? You gonna keep the rings or the MVP, or you gonna give it back?
Just keep paying to come see us.
I'll come to do this.
I love it.
It's a good point. Yep. Just keep paying to come see us.
Yep.
Yes, sir. I will say it. My Astros fandom has definitely been affected. It just delegitimizes the World Series title, and it's too bad because it's their only one.
All right. So the follow-up to that, if it does, then do you want that year to be erased? Do we need to give it to the Dodgers? No.
No.
Okay.
Because you're making a statement that they wouldn't have. I don't know that they wouldn't have won it anyway. It's a pretty talented lineup. We'll see this year, I guess, right? We'll see how well they do at home. But again, their batting average was higher on the road.
Yeah, that was weird. There were some places, I don't know which stadiums, but they did have it rigged up apparently in some places as well.
But how would they rig it up?
I don't know.
Who's running a camera for them?
I don't know the details. Just the article I read said that
that's hard to believe.
They also did this in some road stadiums as well.
Weird.
Yep.
All right. Also, as Tampa's WrestleMania date, which we're all on pins and needles
you
over.
and I have our tickets. Everything's lined up and ready to go. Can't wait.
Yeah, this is WrestleMania, 4,386? This says WrestleMania 36.
That's a low ball figure there.
It's on track for the WWE's main event in Tampa, April 5th, but they're watching the coronavirus. It may be, I guess, called off or postponed.
Oh, no. Oh, that would
You're going to have to wonder about massive gatherings of people now. Since this is being community spread, apparently, in the United States now, do you go to an event like this?
Well, I can tell you that in China, you can take a domestic flight right now for as low as $4.
Whoa!
$4 to fly within China. If you're interested. Which, no thank you.
$4.
$4 domestic flights. Yeah. So, anyhow.
That's amazing. That's really something.
Yeah. Now I guess a dog in South Korea or somewhere.
So did this go from human to dog?
That's what they're trying to figure out. And it's like a lower level form of it, at least.
The pet dog of a coronavirus patient in Hong Kong tested weak positive for COVID-19 and has been put in quarantine.
Yeah.
It was not immediately clear if the animal tested positive due to environmental contamination of the dog's mouth or nose. The department said it does not have evidence that pets can be infected with the virus or can be a source of infection to people.
Look, it was butt-tongue disease. Now
Remember
it's
that?
corona.
Yeah,
So
we tried to tell you, don't make out with your dog.
The moral of the story, don't make out with your pooch.
Do not tongue kiss your dog. It's just always a good safety tip.
It's not worth
to refrain from that.
I mean, you may enjoy it in the moment, but when you wake up the next morning, you really regret it.
Try to tell my kids all the time, my adult children, stop letting the dog lick you in the face. Stop. But they won't.
Take the diseases out of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the dog's washcloth.
Yeah.
For his unmentionables.
Right. And everybody knows it.
Yes.
This is kind of weird. There was apparently a Dean Koontz. Familiar with him?
Yeah.
Thrill writer.
Right.
Dean Koontz novel that was written in 1981.
Okay.
That supposedly predicted the outbreak of the coronavirus. How weird. There's a little section of the book in the chapter The Eyes of Darkness. There's a paragraph that reads, I understand, Dombey said. You have to go back.
Let me take a look.
You have to go back 20 months. It was around then that a Chinese scientist, this is too.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and read that.
All right, let's see here.
Once again, I need my specs.
A Chinese scientist named Li Chen defected to the United States, carrying a diskette record of China's most important and dangerous new biological weapon in a decade. They call the stuff Wuhan 400 because it was developed at their rDNA labs outside of the city of Wuhan, and it was the 400th viable strain of man-made microorganisms created at that research center. Wuhan 400.
Actually called the city in China, too, where the plague came from.
Oh, boy.
That's amazing.
Good stuff.
Every once in a while, you get these really weird sci-fi predictions that turn out to be sort of true.
You know what? Over the weekend, I was doing some cleaning up, and I found a little Post-it note where I'd scribbled out my predictions for the 2019 NFL season. I predicted the Chiefs would win the Super Bowl. I had forgotten about that.
Oh, did you? No.
Yeah, so, I mean, that should be making the news right now.
Really?
Then in August, yours truly.
You called it.
Yeah, but I won't tell you who they beat in my supposed Super Bowl matchup.
Atlanta Falcons.
Yes.
Be a stab in the dark. Yeah. Shocking.
Yeah. I mean, the Falcons will never win the Super Bowl, but
they could be beaten in a Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
they'll get back there and lose.
One day.
So anyway, congratulations again to the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm still happy for you.
Okay.
I mean, we're going through predictions, right?
Yeah, it's a little late for that.
Well, I'm just saying that I nailed it in 2019. I nailed a 2019 prediction.
So you say.
Yeah, I took a picture. I tweeted it out. No one could read it. It's chicken scratch. You can relate to that, trying to read my handwriting.
Yes, I can. All right, 888-900-3393. Also, Oprah, who a lot of people think might jump into this Democrat presidential race. I guess if there's a brokered convention, she might be one of the possibilities.
We should track airplane tail numbers, right? And see who flies to Milwaukee in mid-July. And if Oprah's on her way, we know that the brokered convention is probably going to...
If Oprah is there and Hillary are there and
Al Gore,
Michelle Obama,
they're all going to Milwaukee.
Al Gore.
You can track celebrities' private jet numbers.
Well, she was doing a speech over the weekend, and something a little frightening happened. Check this out.
You have to name it to claim it. So here's my definition of what wellness means to me. This is my definition, not yours, just an idea, because you're going to be defining it for yourself. Wellness to me means all things in balance.
Okay. Balance.
And balance doesn't mean
this is weird.
All things are equal or at peace at all times.
Whoop, and she loses her balance quite badly. Ouch.
Shoes.
No shoes. She blames her shoes there. Oh. But how ironic. She's talking about balance and then hits the deck.
Flat, yeah.
Oof. I think she's okay, though. But boy,
yeah, that looked like a nasty fall.
Yeah.
But glad she's all right from that. Then somebody who would have been better off falling, but he didn't actually. During happier times, this is Tom Steyer from last Friday, celebrating. I guess he thought he was in this race
in a good mood.
In South Carolina.
He was in the race. Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
What are we witnessing? Drop it like it's hot. Oh, no. I mean, that is...
Oh, man.
That's on the internet forever, Tom. That's what $253 million earned you. You dancing forever. Ugh. That's not a good look, man.
No, it's not good. So the very next day,
yeah,
he's out of the race.
That is so bad.
Oh man,
that right there is why I don't dance. Right there, because I don't want to look like that on the internet forever. Okay, I think we got the idea.
Yeah, I think we got it.
We're good. What is he churning butter or something?
Awkward, really awkward. That's almost as awkward as some of those Biden videos from the weekend. Like when he's saying thanks, Chuck, to Chris Wallace. That was good stuff. Oh, man. 888-900-3393. Oh, the other pretty big news is that Mike Pompeo has announced that the United States and the Taliban have reached a peace deal after a reaction from the Afghan president, who was apparently not pleased about it, but Pompeo doesn't seem to care. Here's what he had to say about the peace deal with the Taliban.
He's just back in the U.S. after signing a deal with the Taliban in Doha. And just that statement alone is kind of amazing. You were the first U.S. cabinet official to ever meet with a member of the Taliban. I think you actually met with one of the founding members of the Taliban who was involved.
I met with their senior negotiator yesterday, yes.
You called them terrorists in the past. Do you still consider the Taliban terrorists?
They have an enormous amount of American blood on their hands.
And apparently in a partnership still with al-Qaeda.
Nope, they said yesterday, signed a document, the gentleman I met with agreed that they would break that relationship and that they would work alongside of us
they said
to
that.
destroy, deny resources to, and have al-Qaeda depart from that place.
And you trust that?
Don't trust anything.
Good question.
We're going to deliver. It's about actions. The agreement set out the conditions, it set out the space. But no, this deal doesn't depend upon trusting anyone. It has a deep, complex, well thought out, multi-month negotiated verification complex and mechanism by which we can observe and hold every member of the agreement accountable. We'll do that. It's not about trust. It's about what happens on the ground, not only yesterday, which was an important day, but in the days that follow.
The U.S. pledged in this agreement, which is public, as you say, that it will help to get up to 5,000 Taliban prisoners released. The president of Afghanistan, Ashraf Ghani, says no way, no how. Nothing like that was agreed to. All this is supposed to happen in the next 10 days. Did the U.S. agree to help release 5,000 prisoners?
You saw what the document says. It says we will work with all
Ghani,
relevant...
what he's saying is wrong?
It says that we will work with all relevant parties to build on confidence, to create confidence building measures amongst all of the parties, the Afghan government, non-Taliban, and others in the Afghan. We want this to be an inclusive process.
But
we want women to involve. There'll be lots of people say things. There'll be lots of noise. Everyone's competing for attention and time in the media. What matters is the actions that we take, the discussions that we had. We have come a long ways. And we have worked not only yesterday while I was in Doha, Secretary of Defense was in Kabul, along with NATO Secretary General Stoltenberg. They made a declaration. There was a commitment from the Afghan government, too. We've made a lot of progress. No one's under any illusion that this will be straightforward. We've built an important base where we can begin to bring American soldiers home, reduce the risk of the loss of life of any American in Afghanistan, and hopefully set the conditions so the Afghan people can build out a peaceful resolution to their, now what for them is a 40-year struggle.
Well, putting 5,000 or up to 5,000 fighters back on the field is obviously would have a significant impact on any of the implementation, one would think. So,
there have been.
Do you expect this to actually happen?
There have been prisoner releases from both sides before. We've managed to figure our path forward. We'll know who these people are.
Yeah.
We are working to build out a set of confidence measures that will do for America what President Trump has committed. Reduce our cost in blood and treasure and keep America safe from terrorism. I don't think any American can doubt President Trump's seriousness in that.
Wow.
Thanks, Chuck.
Wow. Strange.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to feel about that. Releasing 5,000 Taliban fighters. And, okay, go back to your people. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Trump was very clear on Saturday that if they don't uphold their end of the bargain, we're going back. And then what did he, I think he even used, I don't know if he used shock and awe, but basically in Trump speak said,
we're going to crush you.
It's going to be really, really bad if they don't uphold their end of this bargain.
It won't be beautiful.
It won't be beautiful.
Okay.
And it will be loud for them.
Yeah. It'll be the opposite of beautiful, though, I'm thinking. Okay. Well, I'm all about ending the conflict in the Middle East. It's been going on way too long, and we've lost a lot of blood and treasure, and it is time to come home. And let's stop nation building. But releasing the 5,000 soldiers before that's all accomplished? I don't know. Strange. Interesting. We'll see what happens. 888-900-3393. Oh, no. Greta Thunberg has angered residents of Bristol after 30,000 of her supporters ruined the historic College Green in town.
Oh, in England, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
Greta has annoyed the residents of this British city after crowds of her supporters ruined their green, where they have this beautiful grass laid out. On Friday, an estimated, there it is. That's what it used to look
lovely.
like, apparently.
Look at that. How nice is that?
Yeah, it is nice.
Okay. What are we saying? Is something wrong? Oh, no.
And now that's what it looks like.
Oh, it's like
so, wow, they trampled it dead.
Oh, my goodness.
Holy cow.
There's not one blade of grass left. Gross.
Look at that turnout.
Look at them. And I'm sure that picture that we saw was after work crews had to go in and clean up all of their trash.
Oh, you know it. Mm-hmm. You know it. Friday, an estimated 30,000 people gathered on that college green, a sacred site throughout the Middle Ages, to listen to the teenage activist speak about the need to reduce the world's carbon footprint and save the environment. She's such a popular figure in Britain that 30,000 people turn out to hear her speak. That's just crazy.
Does she, honestly, honest question, has she seen the inside of her classroom since
I don't think
she was over here?
I don't think so. She must not even be in school anymore.
Drop out.
Her supporters' footprint did little to preserve the city's famous lawn. You saw how beautiful it was. Show us that again, the transition there, because it's stunning. This beautiful, huge green lawn that they obviously take really good care of.
It's so nice. Yep.
With all kinds of flowers.
Before and
after. Looks like this.
Ooh. Gross.
They just totally destroyed it.
Destroyed it just in time for spring.
They turned it into a muddy eyesore. Yesterday, social media users were quick to criticize the destruction, and a Bristol resident, John Usher, has even started an appeal to raise funds to repair the green.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, good for him. 17-year-old Swede, for her part, who came to speak at the Bristol Youth Strike for Climate event.
Dropout.
The Bristol Youth Strike for Climate event. Told her supporters, including thousands of children who skipped school, we are being betrayed by those in power. He betrayed us! He played on our fears! She went on to say, I will not be silenced while the world is on fire.
Oh, okay.
Greta, the world's not on fire. All right,
yeah.
Puddin'?
And if it's
not
we didn't start the fire.
It was always burning since the world's been turning. And that's a true statement. But some people were less than impressed, with one Twitter user saying, thanks, kids. Destroying green spaces, what a gift to the people of Bristol. Another added, Greta and her mates have literally destroyed the college green. From Susan Hall, leader of the Conservatives on the Greater London Assembly, said, this is an utter disgrace. Children being bussed in from all over the country. Great for emissions. Awesome. As usual, the hypocrisy strikes again.
And I would just like to say to Greta, no, we didn't light it. I mean, we tried to fight it.
How dare you?
How dare you use Billy Joel against her?
Sorry.
How dare you? Unconscionable. All right, tomorrow is, it's a big one.
Oh, yeah!
14 primaries and one territory.
Pat Gray New Year.
Pat Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.